Kunge. ATA. All right, first we'll get warmed up. We'll do a little bit of stretching, make sure that we don't hurt ourselves. And then I'm going to go through a few things that we've learned from the previous classes. I'll just do a little bit of a review. And then I have a couple of new techniques that I'll teach you today, and then we'll be working with our Bong Mao Ni. So Juan, if you have a stick around, make sure that's close by. We'll be doing some more with the Bong Mao Ni today. All right, but first let's go ahead and we're going to do what I call switch legs. So keep your hands at arm-based position, and we're just switching our legs back and forth. So I'll show you from the side. This helps with sparring. It's a good drill. And once you get really good at it, you can start going faster and have quicker feet. And having quick feet is really important in sparring or just even in a self-defense situation. Being able to move your feet quickly. So if you need to go slow, that's fine. Go a little bit slower. Go at your speed. I'm going to go a little bit faster just because. Keep it going. Keep those hands up. What we're doing is practicing keeping our hands at guard position. We always want to have our hands up to protect our head. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Now go ahead and get into what we call a sparring position. Keep your knees bent and just kind of bounce a little bit and put most of your weight on the balls of your feet. Hands up here. And just real quick, because we have a new student, when we make a fist, we curl our fingers and thumb goes across like that, okay? So that's how we make a proper fist. Hands up here and do a jab, bring it back, cross, bring it back. Jab, cross, jab, cross. And just keep going back and forth, jab and cross. Don't rush it. Focus on having good technique. And keep breathing. It's always important to breathe as you're doing exercise. Don't hold your breath when you punch. If you hold your breath, that actually slows you down. And notice as I punch, I use hip and shoulder rotation. I'll show you from this side. So you see the rotation? That gives me extra power when I punch. And for me, I'm not a very big or tall person, so every little bit of power I can get, I do it. So I definitely take advantage of hip and shoulder rotation to give me extra power. All right, switch to the other side. Same thing, knees bent, keeping them nice and loose. Hands up, jab, cross. Same thing, but we're just doing it on the other side. One of the great things about Taekwondo is we work both sides of the body. That actually helps both sides of the brain to communicate with each other better. So martial arts doesn't just help you physically, it helps you mentally. Keep breathing in and out. Exhale when you punch. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Now hands up. We're going to squat down and do a front kick when we come up. Squat, front kick. And so the front kick looks like this. I bend my knee, kick, rechamber, set it back down. So squat and front kick. And I'll show from this side again. And I'm keeping my arms up. Again, we're practicing that arm-based position, protecting the head. And the nice thing about doing the squats along with this is it strengthens the legs. The more power we have in our legs, the stronger the kicks. Good job, everyone. Keep it going. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Now, arm scissors. Warm up the arms a little bit, and then we'll stretch out. And it's important with the arm scissors, bring them back as far as you can. That's going to help the shoulders warm up as well. And go at your speed. With anything, go with your speed, whatever I do. All right, now take your hands and arms and go circle forward. And now circle backward. Nice big circles, don't go too fast. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, stretch arms across. Keep taking deep breaths in and out. Now take your arm and over the top. Now in Taekwondo, we always talk about life skills. Life skills are part of every class. And the life skill for this month is belief. And there's different types of belief. We've talked about self-belief, which means that you need to believe in yourself, believe that you can do something. As I tell the kids, if your brain tells you you're not going to do something, then you're not. You're going to do exactly what your brain told you. So in order to achieve our goals, we have to be able to believe that we can do it. And just the fact that you're all in this class right now tells me that you believe that you can do this. Okay, now let's sit down on the floor. Legs are straight. And we're just going to stretch. If you can touch your toes, that's great. But if you can't, that's okay. Just go as far as you can. Keep your legs straight. And take nice deep breaths. And try to relax. Then up, take a nice deep breath. And stretch back down as you exhale. Then come back up, take another deep breath, exhale as you go down. And you should find that each time you do that, you can go a little bit more than you did before. Now, bring your body back up, take one leg and put it underneath. This leg comes on top, and we're pulling the top leg towards us. And this will stretch our outer thigh. And keep taking nice deep breaths as you stretch. Okay, now switch. This leg will be on the bottom, opposite leg on the top. Again, pull the leg that's on top towards you. And that gives you a nice stretch on the outer part of your leg. Keep taking nice deep breaths. Okay, now everybody stand up. Go ahead and stretch your legs out. Then you can put your hands on the floor and just go as far as you can. It's okay to challenge yourself just a little bit, but you don't want to overdo it or overstretch. We don't want to hurt ourselves. That's important. Keep taking nice deep breaths. And keep those legs nice and straight. All right, walk those feet in. Face here, chariot. Kunye. ATA. Now, let's go through our high block from last class, because high block is it's a little more complicated than, say, low block, okay? But let's go through high block again, and then we'll review a couple of other techniques, and then learn two new ones today. So with our high block, Again, let's just start with one hand. So we'll have our hands tucked in here. One hand goes across, and then it rotates up, just like that. So let's do that a few times on one side, and then we'll switch to the other side. So across, up, rotate right at the end. Now it's also important to keep the wrist straight. We don't want to bend our wrist because that can cause ourselves to have injuries. And we don't want to injure ourselves. We want to make sure that we're keeping ourselves safe while we do these techniques. So focus on keeping that wrist nice and straight as you go across and up. Now let's try the other side. Same thing, across and up. Remember, I said Taekwondo, we always work both sides, and that helps both halves of our brain to communicate with each other. So sometimes people might have an easier time with one side than the other, but the great thing about Taekwondo is that the more you do it, you create muscle memory, and then it gets easier. Okay, now we're going to put both of these movements together. So we'll start with one hand up, this hand tucked in, and we cross over and up, just like that. Now the other side, cross over and up. Good. Nice job, Karen. You're really picking this up for your first day. Good job, Juan. Way to stay focused. That's it, Mason. Now make sure you tuck the other hand underneath, Mason. The other hand, you gotta tuck it in. There you go. And Kim, you're looking awesome. Good job. So we want to go a little bit faster if we can. But that's okay. We'll keep practicing a little bit every time, and as you get used to it, then we can get faster. And that's called our high block. Okay, now let's switch gears. Put your feet apart just like this. Take this foot and step straight out. This is called a front stance. So my toes are pointed forward. My front knee is bent, my back leg is straight. Let me show you what that looks like from the side. So here's a front stance, back leg is straight, front knee is bent, my toes are pointed forward. Notice that my feet are about shoulder width apart, maybe just a tad bit more. Okay, so this makes it for a nice solid base. So make sure that you have a good solid front stance that makes you stable. Now let's practice our low block. So this hand starts up here, other hand points down, and I go across just like that. So I'm blocking a low technique. It's a little more simple than the high block, a little bit less to it. And what I'm doing is protecting the leg that's in front. I'm blocking a technique that's coming at my leg. So like maybe a low kick. And that low block is protecting it. So if we get a little bit faster. And again, if you notice, I'm using upper body rotation again. And that gives me a little extra power with the block. Good. Now we'll switch to the other side. Take your other leg, step forward, bend your knee, back leg is straight, toes are pointed forward as much as possible. And now we'll practice the other side. So we'll start out slow. And Karen, I explained in previous classes why we use two hands for all of our techniques. That's at the color belt level, and that's to help you balance out the power of your technique. Now, black belts do a single hand techniques, and it's because by black belt, you've learned how to control and balance your power. So again, we can use that upper body rotation to give us a little bit more power. All right, great. Now we did a front kick in the warm-up, so I'm going to pass over that for right now. Let's get into our new techniques today. So we'll get into a middle stance. Middle stance, our knees are bent, toes are pointed forward. We're going to learn an inner forearm block and then a side kick. So inner forearm block, this hand starts here. I'll get up a little bit closer so you can see how that looks. So it starts here, and my ending position is here. Beginning position, ending position. So notice again, I want to keep my wrist straight. I don't have it curled in this far because what this is doing is protecting a technique coming to my head. If it's too close, it's not going to block it. That technique's going to get through to my head. So I have to have it out just enough so I can protect the head. So beginning position is here. We always have two hands with our techniques. This hand comes back for our reaction force, and this hand goes out. So the way I explained it to the kids is like we're making a muscle. So, you know, sometimes kids like to look at themselves in the mirror and make big muscles. I don't know, maybe there's some adults who do it too, but that's what we're doing. So sometimes it's called a muscle block, but in Taekwondo, we call it an inner forearm block. Okay, now I'll get back into my stance. And block. And make sure that you're looking where you block. It's always important to have that eye contact, because if you're not looking, you might miss the technique that's coming at your head. Good. Now let's work with the other side. So now this hand starts on the bottom. The other hand starts on the top. The top hand comes back, and this hand blocks. So back and block. At the same time, and that reaction force helps us to balance out the power. Now, one of the cool things too in Taekwondo, you notice how I'm keeping this middle stance? Now you might be finding that your legs are starting to burn after a little while, but it's really helpful. The longer you can keep this stance while you're doing the technique, the more it's going to build muscle. And then you'll be able to stay down longer and longer every time. So, you know, if I straighten up, I'm not really getting much of a workout with my legs. But if I bend them, now I am. So it's always good to hold those stances as long as you can. It's going to give you a better workout, build strength. Okay, so that's our inner forearm block. Now our side kick, I'm going to get up a little bit closer so you can see the technique of the kick. So what I'm doing is I'm bringing my knee up in front, and then I'm kicking out sideways. Okay, so again, I'm bringing it up here and kicking sideways. Okay, so let's go ahead and start on the floor. I know I probably won't see some of you if you're on the floor, and that's okay. But an easier way to start with a side kick is just have one hand supporting, bring up this leg, and kick out sideways. So you see how my body is lined up with the kick? And I want to use more of the heel as the striking point on the target. So I start here and here. So I have my chamber, kick, re-chamber, and then I would set it down. So go ahead and try that kick, just kind of like on your hand and knee, just like I'm doing. And just go through the motion of the kick. Okay, now let's go ahead and stand up and let's try that kick standing up. So we'll start out in our middle stance again. Let's keep those hands up. Keeping the hands up when you kick helps keep your body straight, and keeping your body straight helps your balance so you don't fall over. Okay, so from here, I pick my leg up. Oh, before we do that, pivot your back foot, just like that. So I pivot it away from this leg. I pick up my knee, kick to the side, rechamber, set it back down. Notice I'm keeping this opposite hand up. That helps me to keep my balance as well. Okay, so again, pivot, chamber, kick and rechamber, set it back down. Okay, so go ahead and try that. I'll do it with you a few times, and then I'll watch everyone. All right, now Mr. I, if you would, let's scroll through everyone. Let's start with Karen, right at the top. All right, Karen. There you go. Good. So just remember that you're kicking sideways, okay? So it's kind of, it's a little different. It's a little bit more strenuous than the front kick. Front kick is easy because you're just kicking straight in front, but this is sideways. There you go. Now, one other thing, Karen. Let me show her something, please, Mr. I.
Yes, ma'am.
So you're doing a good job of getting that chamber position and kicking. Just remember to rechamber. So bend your knee back before you set it down, okay? All right, so let's look at the next person. All right, Mason, let's see your side kick. Hey, good. I like that you're kicking sideways. Now, Mason, here's, hold on. Slow down, cowboy. I need you to focus for just a moment. Okay, so when you kick, get that knee up as high as you can before you kick out, okay? The higher the knee, the higher you're going to kick, okay? So let's see if you can get that knee up higher for that chamber position. That was a lot better. See, you can kick higher when you get your knee up higher. All right, let's look at Ms. Kim. All right, Kim. All right. You know what? You almost look like you're doing a round kick. So which is okay, that's cool. But let me see if I can help you with this particular kick, okay? Mr. I, could you go ahead and highlight me, please? So what's happening is you're turning your upper body a little bit to where you're kicking, and that's what's turning your kick a little bit off, okay? So you want your body to be completely sideways. The upper body needs to be sideways, everything needs to be sideways, okay? So I pivot and kick sideways, okay? So I'll turn just a little bit, so maybe I'll get a different angle that might help. Chamber, kick sideways, rechamber, okay? So let's see it again. Yeah, that was a lot better. So you're keeping your upper body right, much better. Nice. Okay, let's go on to Juan and see how he looks. All right, Juan, same thing. You're turning your upper body towards your kick. Mr. I, if you would highlight me, please. Okay, so Juan, you're turning your body slightly this way. You want to keep it all the way here, okay? So keep your body facing this way so you can kick sideways, okay? Don't turn your body to your kick because that turns it into a front kick. You have to keep your body sideways. All right, so let's see it. That's a lot better. That's a lot better. This is a more difficult kick than the front kick, so it's going to take a little more practice. All right. All right, guys, we have just a few minutes left. So if you would, go ahead and get your stick, whatever you're using for our weapon part, and go ahead and grab that. And I promise you we would learn how to do a twirl today. So I'll start with that, and then we'll go through our drill and add it in with our drill that we learned from the last class. So this is called a backward roll. The way that I do that is I let this drop down. Notice I'm keeping the stick in between, in that little crook of my thumb and finger, and then I just use my wrist to roll it up. So it's really hard to do it slow like I just did, but I wanted you to see the mechanics of it. So I go back and roll up. Now when I go faster, it looks a lot better because I use the momentum to bring the weapon up. Just like that. So go ahead and try that. So let's see. Oh yeah. Let's see if everybody's getting that. There you go. That's okay. Good. Good, Karen. Let's see, Mason.
Screen's frozen.
Fine. All right. Good job, Kim. That looks nice. And let's look at Juan. There you go. Just roll that wrist. Roll the wrist, Juan. There you go. Okay, now let's go through the drill from last week. As soon as my video gets pinned up. There it is. Okay, so other hand stays up. That's our guard hand. Remember, we always want to protect the head. It's important to have a hand up there to do that. So our first strike is a #1 strike, and we just go straight across. And what we're hitting is the neck area, and then we're just going all the way through. Okay, so #1, and then we go up to the other side. We're hitting the other side of the neck, 2. So we have our 1, 2. Neck, neck. Now we have our 3 and 4. This is going across the ribs. So we have 3, 4, 3, 4. So we're hitting the ribs and going all the way through. So let's start from the beginning. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now next is a block. So we turn our stick upside down. We're going to block across, bring it up, and strike down. We're coming back with a #2. And now here's where we do that backward roll. 1, 2, 3, 4, turn it over, block, strike. And then our roll. 1, 2, 3, 4, block, strike, and roll. 1, 2, 3, 4, turn it over, block, strike, and roll. All right, I'm gonna see how everybody's doing with that. Go ahead and keep practicing. Okay, no worries, no worries, no worries, go ahead. All right, let's look at it. Very nice, good job, Kim. Let me give you one thing to work on. Mr. I, if you would, put my screen up. One thing to keep in mind, and this is for everybody, keep in mind when you do your strikes, you don't want to like overdo it and leave yourself open, okay? So when I do that 1, 2, notice I'm stopping right here. Same thing for 3, 4, I'm keeping it close in. I don't want to leave myself open, okay? So just keep that in mind as you're doing the strikes. Okay, next person. Let's look at Juan. All right, Juan, let's see it. Good, hey, you're getting that backward twirl, good job. Block, that's it, and then just do that twirl. There you go, good job, Juan, you're getting it. It takes some practice, and every time we come to class, we'll do a little bit more practicing, and you'll get better and better every time. All right, did we lose Mason?
Uh-huh.
Uh-oh, we lost somebody. No, he's there.
He's not showing up, that's all. Where is he?
Okay, can you minimize that? I'll show you how to get to it. See that down arrow?
There he is.
There he is, there's Mason. Okay, let's look at Mason. Good job, Mason. Now, Mason, keep that other hand up. The hand that you're not using, you have to guard your head with it. There you go. Good. All right. Great job today, everyone. Let's go ahead and put the sticks off to the side. Everybody face here. Chadi up. Kunye. ATA. All right, I'm going to unmute everybody. So if you have any questions, you can go ahead and ask before everybody's dismissed. So everyone has been unmuted. Let's do a gallery view, please. So that way I can see people easier. All right, does anybody have a question?
How did you get such great leg control?
I've been doing this for 20 years or more than 20 years.
Wow, okay, that explains it.
Yeah.
Good.
I've been doing it a long time.
That's great.
How do you
You're very
practice
good.
practicing those side kicks? It's really painful.
Okay, you know what? I'll give you an exercise that I do at home that helps strengthen my legs. Actually, I'll give you two things that I do. So one, I get down on my hands and knees like this, and I just go across, and then I kick back.
Okay.
And I do that on both legs. So I do about, 18 to 20 both sides. If you can't make it up that high, just do as many as you can before you start to,
Burn.
yeah, it starts to burn, and then, switch sides and do as many as you can on the other side and just build up from there. So that's one exercise I do. Another one I do, I don't know if I can demonstrate it. Hold on, I'm gonna get a chair. So usually I use like a wall or something, but a chair works too. So I'll turn my pivot foot and I'll bring this leg up and I'll just do slow kicks. Just like that.
Okay.
And that also helps. So
Okay.
good questions. All right, anybody else have any questions? All right, Karen, what'd you think of your first day?
It was great.
You're gonna be sore tomorrow, just warning you.
That's okay. I can do it.
Okay, just keep stretching. You'll be okay. It takes about 2 days, and then it'll start feeling better. So.
Great. Good. Thank you. Thank you
All
so much
right.
for letting me join.
Hey, you're more than welcome. Thanks for joining us today.
Of
Hey,
course.
Juan, great job today. I'm glad you came. Mason, you're awesome, dude. I love how enthusiastic you are. All right, I'll see you guys next. Make sure you guys come on Friday. I have another beginner class, so make sure you come back.
Okay.
Great. Thank you so
Bye.
much, Stacy.